Well, let's bring in now Georgia's Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. Great to see you, sir. And thanks for being with us today. Now, we just heard from the Vice President. She spoke a little over an hour ago. Give us your reaction to her comments.
Well, John, it's good to be with you tonight. Thank you for having me on today. And just number one, our thoughts and prayers want to go out to the family members who've been affected by this storm. We've had several dozen fatalities because of this storm. We've got about 90 of our 159 counties that have been affected by this. So, and we still got a long ways to go. Governor Kemp and our GEMA group have done a phenomenal job of being proactive, but there's a lot of damage, and there's a lot of downed trees, there's a lot of power outage, there's a lot of communities without water right now. So we do need federal help at this point in time. We're exhausting all of our state resources right now, and so we do need federal help. And I know the governor has been on the phone with the current administration, and hopefully that will come sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you got to wonder what took so long. I know earlier today the entire Georgia congressional delegation sent a letter to President Biden urging him to, quote, promptly consider Governor Kemp's request for a major disaster declaration. It does sound like, as you mentioned, Governor Kemp did have a chance to speak with the president today, but he went to his beach house this weekend. Kamala Harris could have ended her campaign swing earlier. Again, I don't want to get into politics too much here, but are do you think the response has been sufficient so far?
Well, I mean, this is kind of what we've expected out of this administration. This isn't the first time in the 3.5 years they've been in power, but this is the storm we knew was coming. This is something that Governor Kemp, to his credit, took all the necessary precautions on the front end to declare a state of emergency. And we were talking with our federal delegation early on about this because we knew it was going to be a pretty bad storm. We've been through these type storms before, and we were anticipating this to be a pretty significant damage as far as the winds and rain and flooding and everything. So, but look, this current administration, I hate to play politics with this as well, John, but it's not surprising that the response has been slow, and we do hope that they will, because this isn't a Republican or Democratic thing. This is citizens of the state of Georgia, as well as some other states who are affected as significantly as we are here in the Southeast.
Well, as someone who's probably covered 24 hurricanes over the last 20 years or so, it's amazing to watch how much faster the power is able to be restored and how much faster those resources are able to move in. When you have effective local and state leadership, it makes it that much easier to deploy the resources of FEMA and other folks as well. So I want to commend you and Governor Kemp on that. Amazing to watch how much power, how quickly, a lot of folks are still without power, but it gets turned on so much faster than it used to. These used to be months-long events sometimes, and now the power's back on in a couple of days. So hat tip to you and the governor's office for doing that. Great to see you, sir.
Our hats go off to our linemen and with our co-ops and Georgia Power and all the linemen from across the country who have come here to Georgia to help out with this effort. It is a slow and steady process right now, but you are correct. It's a lot faster than what it used to be just 10 years ago. So, but our hearts go out to the families who's suffering, but and our hats go off to the linemen and units who are making sure that we get this power back on.
Yeah. Play that, dedicate that song, the Gordon Lightfoot song, I think it is, to the linemen out there working hard to get the power back on. Great to see you.
That's right.
Governor Burt Jones from Georgia. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.